Welcome back to our town, Jason. What would you like to order?
A medium pepperoni pizza for me and my wife. And we want 2 glasses of white wine.
Sure. Have a seat. So this is where you grew up? It does seem like a lovely place. Not that different from Austin.
Yes, and that's why I am thinking of moving back here.
You'd be willing to quit your job as a newscaster for the national news network.
That job has me on a leash of sorts. I can only do what the owners of the network are willing to let me do, so I am not a free agent. But Debbie Smith and Carrie Sims, who I used to be friends with here, have started their own news network in this town. They own it. They decide whatever they want to say. And I think they deserve our support.
We'd probably be making less money, though. I'm not sure it's worth the risk.
Only one way to find out.
Good evening, Jason. And this must be your wife. Welcome. I am Debbie Smith. Hello, Debbie. Jason has said good things about you. Likewise. When you two are done eating, come by my home so I can interview you, Mrs. Laker. Good evening. Tonight on the Queer Vendors News Podcast, I will be interviewing gun control advocate Olivia Laker. Mrs. Laker, welcome to our show. Thank you for having me, Debbie. So tell us about your campaign to ban assault weapons and strictly regulate all other firearms. It's all a matter of public safety. I find it strange that people on the right want our government to combat terrorism from abroad, but they enable domestic terrorism by refusing to support laws that would limit the availability and accessibility of guns. Then they wonder why we have so many mass shootings. Every other country that has passed strict gun control laws has seen a massive drop in murders due to guns. What about the concern that gun control laws violate the Second Amendment's guarantee of a right to bear arms? Republicans have been lying about the Second Amendment. The ones who passed it expected states to set up and maintain their own militias in addition to a standing army that would answer directly to the federal government. Those state militias would be made up of armed citizens, so the right to bear arms was all about well-regulated gun ownership. What the NRA's stubborn opposition to gun control has done is allowed most of our citizens, including children in our public schools, to be threatened by an unregulated mob. We simply can't afford to allow our society to sink into anarchy because a few extremists want to pretend to be soldiers without actually being responsible to the state they live in. What about those who say this is a mental health problem, not a gun problem? That's ableist nonsense. Most mentally ill people are not violent. The real cause of most mass shootings is toxic masculinity. Nearly all mass shooters are white men. Not women, not people of color, and certainly not Muslims, Mexicans, or others. White men. So many feel they are losing power in a more progressive society, so they lash out. And I am 100% certain that this is all about maintaining the high profits of gun and ammo manufacturers. If selling guns didn't make money, gun control wouldn't be an issue. Thank you for your comments, Mrs. Laker. And can you tell us how we can support your cause? Yes. Everytown for Gun Safety is accepting donations to build a strong grassroots movement to defeat the insane gun lobbies that keep enabling violence and the threat of violence from excessive amounts of guns among us. That's www.everytown.org. Great. I will make a donation soon. Thanks for coming here. Thank you for having me here. I've been trying to make an appearance on the national news network for over a year, but I was refused repeatedly to be allowed to speak, not even with my husband as an employee.
I just got a call from my boss. He wants me to return to Austin ASAP. I have been assigned an interview with a spokesperson for the NRA. I told him to give that job to someone else. As of now, I have quit. And we will work and live here instead.
Yes. Thank you. So will you hire Jason to work for your network? Sure. He can start next week. I will inform my partners.